Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Have you ever wondered what games you should sell or you should use? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Find out on our top 10 list what games you cannot miss. Don't forget to subscribe to Purge Reviews.
Hurry, everyone to their places. The orcs are coming. The trolls are coming. Well, not these trolls. More like these. But everybody to their places. Wait, hold on a second. I'm the orc. I'm the troll. And I'm coming for that castle. That's what Mighty Monster sets up for us, as we are the one attacking the castle. We're the uglies, and we're coming for those pesky humans that are hidden behind those walls. It will be us, by playing our cards, by bluffing our opponents, and by even attacking our own kind, that we'll be able to score the most points and score the most loot. What you're going to get inside is a pretty good rule book, actually. I like this rule book a lot. It's a very easy game, but they did a lot of... Queen's very good about their rule books of putting in a lot of colors and examples and showing you how it's done and kind of breaking it up. First thing you're going to notice is that the box is way too big for what you get. So there's going to be a lot of extras in here. Now this is the back of the board. It's going to be modular. So this is for 4 and 6 players. And this is for 5 and 6. So the board on the other side will just be bigger. And the S and the E will be there every single time. And here's the opposite side of it. So if you were using, let's say, 4 players, you would just pop it in like this. And this would not be used. And this would be set aside. You're going to get a number of these tokens that will be used as gold and victory points and just normal cardboard. You also get these tiles. Now if you wanted to play the regular game, they're just used as a counter down to the end of the game. But if you're using them as the variant, they will give you powers throughout the game and also count down until the game is over. Each player will get a set of cards in their color with unique artwork for each race, if you will. Although they are exactly the same other than the artwork, you're going to have the fighting ability and how much it will cost to heal them. Other than the color and the artwork, there is no difference between the set of cards for each player. You also get a stack of guard cards. And the first thing you'll notice is that there's 3 different sets. So you have the set with the 3 stars, range from 5 to 9 and 10 to 14 for the treasure. You will have 2 stars, which have an attack of 3 to 7 or 6 to 10. Or you have a single star, it's 3 to 6 and 3 to 6 treasure. And you have enough of these that you won't use each of them every game. So those are going to be all the components in the game. The game has a few variants in it. So the way it'll come in, you'll shuffle the guard cards. And this is set up for a 4-player game. You'll put all these out. Now there's a little variant that says you put all the 1 stars, then the 2 stars, and the 3 stars, but it really doesn't matter. Each player will start out with 8 gold, and they'll each have their own set of cards that are exactly the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the attack. Now, I should say this, is that this will be a timer for the game depending on the number of players. You can turn these over if you want to, and they'll have different kind of abilities that will change each round and kind of switch things up. You can play with those or not. I normally play with those because it's kind of just a fun bluffing luck type of game anyway, so they just kind of add to it. So on my turn, I will take one of my cards and I will place it down here. The next player will then place one of his cards either on the same side or on the opposite side. And this guy might place here. This guy might place here. Let's say this guy wants to place over here. This guy will place here. And then let's just say it all went down like this. So once every player has played 2, they can just play cards around, would be over. But instead, let's say on my turn, I didn't want to just place it down. I wanted to take somebody's spot because that's prime real estate right there and I really want it. I can replace my card with his as long as my number is bigger and 5 is larger than 3. And I would give this back to the other player. But keep in mind, you will always play 2 cards. Now the way that it works is that if it's a 1 star, then I have to pay 1 gold to the treasury, or the bank if you will, in order to exchange cards. If it's 2, I play 1 to the treasury and 1 to the player that I'm replacing. If it's a 3-star, I pay 1 to the treasury and 2 to the player. So in order for me to take this card, I will be giving up 3 victory points in order to do so. 2 in order to give up this one, and 1 to give up this one. So then what you'll do is you'll flip these over, and you'll look here on the card. There will be an attack and a treasure amount. So he has 6. So we played a 4 and a 3, which is 7. So as long as it's equal to or larger, then we split the loot. We would get 3 each here. So I have to flip over the next one. It's also 6, but we played 2 ones, which is 2, which means we both lost. So then what we would do is we would pay the number of health and coins. In this case, we both have 0 to pay. So in this one, it's 7. We paid a 3 and a 2. We lost. So we each have to give up 1 coin each for losing. And then the final one, we played a 7. It is a 7. So we split 12. 6, 6. Now, if this had been an odd number, and we had to split the loot, whoever had the highest number played would get the extra loot. Otherwise, if it's a tie, then nobody gets it. It goes to the treasury. So what you're doing here that's kind of fun is that you're just kind of playing these cards down. Now, at the end of the round, the 2 cards that you play will go into a pile. If you had any in your pile, you'd pick those up. And the next round, you only have the cards left to play that you didn't have. So now since I played the 4 and a 5, if I was a red player, I would have 1, 2, and 3 to play this round. And then next round, if we went through the whole thing and these were played, I would pick up the 2, and then the following round I'd have the 2, the 4, and the 5 to play. So you don't have your entire deck any round except for maybe the first round, because then the 2 that you play. So you can't just play the 5 and the 4 over and over again. You're going to have to mix it up a little bit. And that kind of leads to some strategic decisions, even though you really never know what's going to come out or when it's best to play that 5. So it's really a matter of, maybe if they're played a 4, you want to play a 5 against it. The 5 can never be upgraded because there isn't a card higher than that. And you're just playing to get number of tokens and gold coins that you can in the game. It's a really fun little bluffing game. I mean, it's kind of hard to really plan anything out. It's a very light filler. It plays very quickly once you know the rules. And I do kind of recommend playing with these tiles. If you really want to have some direct confrontation, you will see people trying to replay these and giving up the victory points. But you want to be careful because when you're giving up victory points to gain a little bit more, you want to make sure you would gain more than you would get elsewhere. Otherwise, you're just kind of breaking even or losing victory points. And because you never really know what the guards are when they're coming out, it can be a little bit tough to know exactly what you're doing. For anyone that's played any Queen games, they bring out these little expansions called Queenies, and they're always numbered, Queenie 1 and whatnot. So the Mighty Monsters has their own. Mine came with my Kickstarter version, so I get a little bit of a rule book here that will explain some new things, and I get a set of new cards. I get a new green, yellow, black, purple, red, and blue. So what this is going to do is give each player an individual power. So what you'll do is you'll take out the number 3 card for each color playing and introduce these instead. So now you're not to do where maybe you randomize this instead of just picking your favorite color. So the yellow one, what he does, if he defeats a guard, you get extra loot depending on what level it is. 1 coin for each star. The red player, the dragon, will get to not pay gold if he takes a card off and puts his own in that spot. So that would be a free movement now. With this guy, you get to place a coin on the guard, and you have 1 more strength, thus making this a 3 to a 4. If you win, you get your coin back. If you lose, then you lose the coin. That one's a little bit more of like a gambling one. The undead player gets to collect any healing cost if he defeats his guard for the round. So he would get that extra money. This guy is able to swap adjacent guards. So he can be pretty powerful and pretty neat if you have that 5 and you want to get him over there. Now, if the demon guy beats a guard, he gets to add, or subtract rather, the strength of the 2 monsters minus the guard, and then he gets that money. So if it was played with a 5, 3 plus 5 is 8, and he beat a 4 guard, 8 minus 4, he would get 4 additional coins. So this just give each player an individual power they can use in the game. You take the 3s out that you normally play with, you add these in, and like I said, you might want to randomly distribute these instead. Now, what I think about this, I think this is a pretty cool way to play, and I would probably go ahead and add this in. I don't know if all the powers are equal, but if you're randomizing this to the players, and then you might want to suit what you're doing that round to this. I probably like this guy the best. Swap those guards can be pretty important. I like that. But each of them have their plus and minuses. I'd probably say play the base game a few times, add this in. But I think you're going to like this better. It kind of makes everybody a little bit unique and adds a little something. And it makes the threes played a lot more because you want those powers. And it makes the three a lot more powerful. I almost wish these were ones because it'd make that one something you might want to think about playing. But it's really nice that they're three. So, yeah, I would say go ahead and add these in. These are pretty good cards. It's a really neat one if you can get this cheap enough. I would say go ahead and add this in. Mighty Monsters is a game put out by Queen Games where you're kind of doing a little bit of a hand management and you're pressing your luck depending on what comes over. Now, in a lot of my plays, we just kind of played what you needed to play to beat the maximum. That seemed to happen a lot, and you're hoping that you have the benefit of the tie. This is one of those games that you just kind of put on the table and you kind of play through it. It's not going to have a lot of deep strategy to it. It's going to have a little bit of, well, I hope this wins, and it didn't win, wah, wah, wah. I think the inclusion of the theme of you being the monster taking on the guard is unique. I think that's really, really neat. I was designing a game with this theme, and when this game came out, I kind of dropped that theme because I wanted it to be different. I thought it was something unique when here it is in this game. Now, a lot of these Queen games I feel are very dry and abstract. This one, on the other hand, is very colorful, very good artwork. It looks really neat. The game itself is just really simple. You're not doing a lot of take a whole lot of thought. You can kind of talk to people while you're playing, and you can literally play this with anyone that you want to. It's that simple of a game. It's not hard at all. The scoring in the game is easy to understand, and it isn't very hard. I think that's going to be very appealing to a lot of people. There is a variant to play with the tiles with the different powers. I think that adds a little something different. Maybe it adds a little bit of randomness to each turn, but it keeps things kind of spiced up and you're doing something different or you got something else to think about. It can sometimes drive the strategy into one area, making it maybe a little bit more closed-minded in the decision-making than it wants to be, but I feel like that can amp up the pressure sometimes when this is worth 10 plus loot, versus the one where there's like a 3, 4, and 5 card in your hand. Everybody roughly has the same kind of cards. It takes some of that deep strategy out that you have with your hand management and just kind of throws it out the window. Of course, you don't know which ones are in, which ones are out, so you can't really plan for it anyway. But I would probably include the tiles over not including the tiles just because I like that in this game. In this game, I want a little bit of goofiness and randomness, and I want some things dropped in. I want to be able to come up behind them and get them in the back with a sword when they weren't expecting it, that kind of feeling. So this isn't one of those games where it's like a dry Euro. It's nothing like that. It's not one of those things where like, I want my decisions to win the game. It's a little bit of bluffing, there's a little bit of, I'm going to press my luck on this one and see what happens, or I'm going to tank you on purpose with my one card. So there can be a little bit of that. And overall, I feel like this is a really fun game. I feel like it's not going to blow your socks off. It's not going to be something that everybody wants to play every time. But for a light filler, I really like what's here. This game plays quick, fast. You can't have any AP in this game. It's just, let's throw some cards down and see what happens. And for that, I'm going to recommend this game. I'm going to keep this game. Mighty Monsters is something I'm going to keep in my collection. Express instead. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you liked it, please like it and hit that little subscribe button. That really helps out the channel. Lets us know that you're getting the videos that you want. If you agreed or disagree with what I said, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I promise that I will comment back. Thanks for watching, and everybody else, keep playing games.